What's up, friends of the internets, and welcome back to the Jube Tube. Did you guys see that Star Wars trailer? Did you see it? Holy crazy, right? Crazy. I'm not going to review it. I'm just going to go through some of the big theories and takeaways that I had from this trailer that maybe you missed. And I hope you guys tell me the stuff that maybe I missed. But let's just dive right into this thing. We start off with Snope talking about when I discovered you, you had raw power and something special. But he talked about finding the person. He didn't find Rey. In the last movie, he talked about what girl, if the girl's really as powerful as you think, bring her to me. So either one of two things is happening. One, he has no idea of Rey's existence. Or two, he does and he's playing Kylo. But either way, I think he's talking to Kylo. I have a few reasons for this. And one of them, honestly, may just be he just got his ass kicked by Rey, right? So maybe he's trying to bump up his apprentice to be like, "No, man, you're special. You got raw power, son. Go fight him again." I don't know if he's trying to boost his confidence, but I still think he's talking to Kylo. And another reason I think that is because we immediately then go to Luke, who talks about how he's only seen this raw power once before. It didn't scare him enough then, and it really scares him now. Mark Hamill does a great job. You can see the fear on his face. And there I think he's talking to Rey. Because then we get some shots of the temple, the Jedi temple, when Kylo destroyed it. And we also see Luke coming out of the rubble, which leads me to believe that he tried to kill everyone. He tried to kill Luke, but was unsuccessful. And then we see the area that they were at, the temple where they were training or whatever, up in flames. We see that he's pretty scared here. And so I think he has a little reserve about Rey. The other thing about this that I think is good for me is because I originally had the theory that Kylo and Rey were the Organa twins. But we know that's not true now because Kylo is 10 years older than Rey. He looks young, so it kind of makes it difficult visually to see that, but he is about 10 or so years older than Rey in the story in real life and yada yada. So that can't be true. They can't be twins, but I still think that they're potentially related. So this is the first cue that I get that they are related in some way, shape, or form. They don't have to be brother and sister, but they're related. We have both the Masters, Dark and the Light, talking about their apprentices and being very powerful, having raw power. So there's got to be some connection there. That's not just a coincidence. Then we move on and we see Kylo with a Band-Aid? Like a carbon fiber Band-Aid? What is that? I don't know what that is. This is important for me for one reason, how I'm reading it. I'm reading this that it's the beginning of the movie. We see him smash his helmet, and we see him with this thing on his face. What I think that is the wound is still semi-fresh. And a lightsaber does, it burns at the same time that it cuts, so it's like the wound wouldn't be open, but maybe it's kind of like a butterfly that maybe it's helping it heal closed, because maybe his face was filleting open or something. I don't know. But I still think it's some type of healing thing. The wound from Rey is still fresh. And then we see him have a little run-in with the light side again when he sees Leia. I don't think he's going to kill Leia. And the reason I think that is, I don't think they're going to do that same shtick 2 movies in a row of Kylo killing his father, then killing his mother. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen The Force Awakens. My bad. So I don't think they're going to do that again. Another reason for that is I think that a big part of this movie is going to be the internal struggle that Kylo has. They also mentioned that they're going to send Carrie Fisher off in a big way, and I don't think that's going to be an early death in this movie. We also see her in other settings later on in the trailer, so I don't think he's going to kill her. We also hear him talk about killing his past to find out who you really are, and I think that's more of a metaphor, or him talking about killing who he has been, the evil person he's been, to move forward, to find out who he really is, forget the past and move on, than to literally kill his mother, kill his past. I don't think they're going to be that straightforward with it. I think it's going to be deeper than that. It's going to be more of a feeling of, I'm killing who I was, because the look on his face was still that struggle that he kind of had with Han. He is admittedly feeling the light side and struggling with it. So I think that's just the beginning of how deep we're going to get with Kylo and his character building here. We finally see Porg and we see him make a noise. I liked it. Moving on. The X-Wing got another upgrade. If you remember from The Force Awakens, they could do light speed, which they've never been able to do before. And now we have this massive jet on the back of this X-Wing. So it seems that the Resistance is pretty handy with their tools, and they keep adding things that they think they need to their X-Wings. So that's just a cool fun fact. I don't know if it'll affect the story at all. It looks like we're going to be doing a lot of space battles here, or at least some space battles. We see Kylo Ren flying in his ship, which he is the grandson of Anakin, who was one of the best star pilots in the stars. We may see a lot more of that and his lineage there, and so we'll see. This looked to be a cool part, or at least that they were trying to make cool, but I was pretty underwhelmed by the fact that Finn looked like he was going undercover. Again, he looked like a First Order captain or something, and I'm like, come on. You're telling me with that technology they don't have facial recognition on the planet? Like, they're not just going to have cameras everywhere and be like, there's the guy. That's the guy that the traitor. He's on the planet again. We should probably kill him cuz he's killed us now. He's not a good guy. And he's using the same weapon that TR-8R used on him, traitor, the little electric stick, and he fights Phasma. I'm underwhelmed by that. It looked like a cool scene. It looked like stuff was blown up. Whatever. Swing and a miss for me. We then see Rey and Snope together. We see Snope say, fulfill your destiny. He's reaching out. And then we see Rey upside down, looking like she's in a lot of pain. Clearly they're in a throne room because we can see his yellow cloak or whatever he's got on and guards to his side. So obviously she is on whatever base or ship that he's on. I don't know how she got there. That's one of my biggest questions here. But the big red flag from this is he saying, fulfill your destiny. And this goes back to the fact that I think that Kylo and Rey are related. The last time we heard someone say, fulfill your destiny, Palpatine was talking to Luke to strike down his father and join him at his side. Is that some type of foreshadowing that the supreme dark side leader at any point in the series is saying to the most powerful Jedi currently at that time, fulfill your destiny, strike down whoever, do whatever it is to prove to me, let the dark side overflow and join me and be my apprentice. There are some fan theories out there saying that Snope is taking life from Kylo and he is healing himself, and he does look more healed. So by him telling Rey to fulfill your destiny, and if it is any connection between that conversation between Luke and Palpatine, he was potentially just using Kylo the whole time. And this goes back to saying, like, maybe he did know about Rey and he was using Kylo to get to Rey. It could be that, or he could just really, realize what she's capable of. So maybe she is there on purpose to try to take over Snope, and he has now seduced her to at least listen to him, and she has either accepted or denied him. I could go either way on this. If she has accepted his offer because she later in the trailer says that she needs someone to tell her where she lies in all of this, maybe he is such a sweet talker that she's like, you know what? Luke was afraid of my power. He wouldn't teach me. There was eventually a breaking point that he stopped. Teach me how to use my power. Teach me anything, right? And so maybe he is unleashing or doing something so that is a kind of a pain or an overwhelming of power or something. It could be that, because her going to the dark side would be you wouldn't see that coming. It wouldn't be a direct, redo of episode 5 like they did with Force Awakens in episode 4. Or it is the same and she denies him and now he is using some type of force ability to potentially take life force out of her, potentially healing himself, and maybe he still looks like he did in The Force Awakens. And in that scene, that's what he's doing, is healing himself. And we're actually reversing it. And so when we actually see his face, it is not as screwed up as it was. The last scene that we get in this trailer is Rey saying what I said just a second ago, which was she needs someone to show her where she lies in all of this, where she belongs in all of this. Then we see Kylo extend a hand. Two things about this. One is I think that they're in two separate spots. Not to say that they don't have some type of connection later on, but when she says that and when he extends his hand, I think are two separate parts of the movie. And I'm going to put the images up here. Looking at her face, she has a little red, right? There's some tones of red going through her face. and there's no real fire going on, but it looks like a lot more natural light or sunlight. Then when we go to Kylo, he has a lot of red light, a lot of almost fire that's illuminating his face, and we see fire falling down all around him. So I want to believe that they're in two separate locations. Now again, not to say that they don't have this interaction, because if Kylo truly does go to the light and he sees Rey, maybe he is extending the hand to help her, but not in the way that we're made to believe that he is a Sith or on his way to be a Sith. He's actually on the light side. He's right his wrongs, or at least he's moving on. He's killing his past to find out who he really is, and he's going to help her. And I do think that that is a possibility, because if he has those struggles early on, he has the Band-Aid, right? We move on with the story. In the scene where he extends the arm, he doesn't have the Band-Aid or whatever was on his face. We see the scar now. I believe it's at least later in the film. That's kind of where I'm at with that. But again, Rey could have also left Luke if he was afraid and he wasn't showing her anything. Who knows where she ended up? Also, I don't think that Kylo is the one that leads her to Snope, at least in this regard. If this is the same scene, or if he's playing her and he is going to take her to Snope, her outfit is different. If you look at the old picture up here, she has basically her new version of her Jakku outfit. It's a little darker, right? Which that may be something. Her clothes are getting darker, so I don't know if she is going to the dark side, but you don't know. Just like Luke's cloak is now darker, and there's now promotional art of him on the light side and the dark side. But when we see her with Kylo, or in the scene where she needs assistance, or she's asking for help, she has a different outfit on. So there's a disconnect there. So I think they're trying to guide us or make us think something, but I'm not exactly falling for it right now. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. One thing I want to say about this as well is maybe he's not extending a hand to Rey. What if it's Leia? Right? What if this is the send-off, or what if this is the big hurrah? What if Leia is in trouble and he is extending his hand to help her? He doesn't have a lightsaber out, so clearly he's not feeling threatened. Last time him and Rey met, she cut his face. So unless he is like hands up, like, I'm not doing what I'm doing anymore, my bad, shouldn't have done that, he doesn't have a lightsaber out, right? Because if they're still foes and she's now at least learned something from Luke, like, she's probably going to get that saber out and be like, yo, bro, I'm about to cut you in half this time in Darth Maul, ya ass. But he doesn't have his lightsaber out. So obviously he doesn't feel threatened, or at least maybe the situation has calmed down. But maybe it's Leia. Maybe she's in trouble and this is the final straw of like, I had a chance to kill you. That was really hard. I didn't do it. And I'm done fighting. And she's in trouble. She's about to die. And then here comes Kylo being like, hi, Mom. Sorry I killed Dad. Take my hand, please. All right, guys. That's all I've got. That's all I picked up from this. I tried to overanalyze everything just because the director said, don't watch this, and if you don't want to know too much about the story, which usually with these trailers, I basically am like, all right, this looks cool. I'm excited. Ooh, did you see that little thing? Oh, that looks cool. And it's more of a visual thing with some stories sprinkled in. But because he said that, obviously there's something in here that once you watch the movie, you're going to be like, ah, there it was. It was in plain sight and I missed it. So I tried to connect as many dots as I could from the last movies, now, episode 4, 5, all these things to try to overanalyze these scenes. And for the smoke and mirrors of Rey saying she needs help, and the lighting on the face of there's not a lot of red and Kylo's got a lot of red. Is it the same thing? Oh, I don't know. So I tried to be overly critical of everything and really try to connect as many dots as I could. I'm very anxious to see if you guys caught some stuff that I didn't. So please fill that comment section up below. Let me know if I did miss something. I really want to hear what you guys have to think. I'm very excited for this movie. Already bought my tickets. So pumped. As always, guys, hit that like button. Hit the little red button that says subscribe, or the little button that comes up in a second with my face on it. You know, share it with the world. I appreciate you guys. And I'll see y'all again next time.